Welcome to The Road to London, hosted by me, Montez Aswani, and sponsored by All3 Media International, Boatwalker Studios, BossaNova Media, and 7 Month Studios International.
Welcome back to ScreenMDM Talks. This is The Road to London. I am so happy to be here with the always amazing, super quotable Paul Heaney, CEO and founder of BossaNova. Hi, Paul.
Hello, super quotable. I won't let you down.
You're always quotable. Always. I want to get into lots with you, but we're a couple of days from your big showcase in London. So give me a sense of how you've curated from your fantastic lineup what you're going to be showcasing to your clients next week.
We try not to do too much. When I think about what we used to do in a previous life, I think less is more. I think buyers aren't looking to hoover up as much as possible, certainly in major markets. And there's still, I suppose, a distinction between that and the emerging markets. So for us, it's as much as launching new brands as it is getting existing ones returning. So we have to make sure that whatever we're bringing in can come back to a season 2, and we're not putting too much money into it. So as much as we've got like another Alice Roberts Roman Empire by Train, which is the 4th journey, and we've got Airport Security USA season 2, and we've got Guy Martin's Proper Jobs season 2, then we've got new brands coming through that we think will have a season 2 coming. Returnable, repeatable, scalable, sustainable. So we're looking for shows that can they return? Can they repeat? If someone wants to double up the order, go from 10 to 20, is that possible with this type of show? And is it affordable? So it's all very well willy waving the first time you put some money into a show and say, yeah, we can cover that. And then the producer comes back for a season 2 and says, we're ready to go again. Broadcast ready to go again. And distributor says, God, sorry, no, we put in too much money. Don't think we can. Happens quite a bit. And I'm guilty as charged on that front, I'm sure, over the years. It has to be sustainable. Put in enough that you can actually commit and do it again. All right, you're always going to be relying on sales. And if it's a complete and utter disaster, then it does happen, which means you don't know the market well enough. And again, guilty as charged. I've done that in the past. So they're adages to live by for us. We've got Nevada Wild from Engel Entertainment in the States. Steam Train Diaries just been a hit on Channel 4, and that's, we believe, is returning. So we want to do those. We're not forgetting the 1 to 4 parters because they're brilliant tent poles for us and for schedules. And the streamers have schedules as much as anyone else does. Sure. So we're looking for those as well. We're known to build brands, and so that's what we're doing. And 7 is a nice number to be launching, around about 7 titles. You know, if you look at the other end of the spectrum, some of those big companies, if you're a salesperson pitching 7 titles, it would be a dream. So this is about right. We want to keep that combination. Returners every 6 months, say at MIPCOM, we'll have some more and some new brands coming through as well. And hopefully of the returners that you have, if you can get it right 70% of the time, then most of those returners will be coming back.
I remember it was last year you announced that you're moving more into the talent-driven franchises, and also those really charming holiday peg sort of Christmas dogs that you were highlighting.
Oh, that's right.
I remember that. As you look out, obviously the market is constantly changing. What are some of the areas that you could expand into, given that you have done a lot more of this talent stuff and then holiday stuff? There are other opportunities that you're looking at to sort of curate around themes.
Yeah, I think there's talent with travel, and that can hybridize, just to use a verb where there wasn't one before, into a history series or into other factual areas. Access driven with talent is good. So yeah, we've got Alice Roberts in Secrets of the Lost Grail and Roman Empire by Train here. So she's one of our favorites. What a surprise. Yeah, Guy Martin, obviously we love him. We're only following what the buyers are telling us, and the buyers say, yeah, we'd love this with some talent on, or some channels will want that voice. I know voices don't always work around the rest of the world, but yeah, we'll always want talent, and it's becoming more and more acceptable.
A lot of the stuff that you are rolling out as part of your slate did emerge from development days. And I'm curious about how that fantastic event has evolved since you started it at TCB and then resurrected it at BossaNova into what is now a much bigger event than it was.
Yes, thank you for asking about Development Day. I know it's never far from our thoughts here. It was just a little bit of window dressing, I think, at the beginning, because it wasn't an essential part. 11 years ago, it wasn't an essential part of how content was meshed together. But we now see it as front and center of how content is put together. And buyers see it as well. Often the buyer won't want to be the first one in, and I can understand that. It's the pool party scenario. They don't want to be the first one to jump in their high cut yellow swimsuit. No mental images allowed if it was me. So now they want to come in together as a community or a hub. This is the perfect area for it. So we plan a long way ahead to try and see if we can get around about a 20 to 25% strike rate of the 50 projects that come in. So of say 400 roughly submissions, which is a lot of projects. We whittle that down to 50. And now the team are led by Claire Runham. They've put together a brilliant Survey Monkey. So it's a way of they can instantly vote for the content as it comes through, whether they want to acquire it or pre-buy or they're not interested. There's so much data there, which is so valuable. It's such a massive tool for us now. All roads are leading there. We try and make it a mix of genre. If we had 50 projects and 45 of them were true crime, then the buyers would be crawling out of there desperate. So just for them to enjoy the day, they have to have a mix. And we often call certain projects that come in there, we have to tell the producers, we have to say, listen, you're going to be in there as a palate cleanser. Do you mind? Because the buyers need a bit of a break. The sorbet has to be in there as well now and again. And sometimes that sorbet is something that does take off. So we're not just throwing it under a bus. We're genuinely interested in having it in there. We think there'll be interest. But buyers will say we want X, Y, Z, but we have to throw in other things as well. And also that keeps it fresh. And buyers come back really quickly now as well. And after each year, it's been quicker and quicker because it's been more professional from a Sainsbury's bag in a Costa coffee to what we have now. It's totally a different event. We're looking to see if we can spin this out. We're obviously very good at running events. Not me, my colleagues are. They're very good at running events. And so we're seeing if we can spin that out. We did a Green Day last year and we might do other days this year as well, reflecting what the market wants. And really, that's to service the producers, not just ones we work with, but the production community, but also those key buyers we work with as well. And we like to take their temperature and see what they want. So that's why we did Green Day last year, and we put some money aside to commission programs on the back of that.
What's happening in the true crime space, Paul? I haven't found a true crime doc for a while that I really wanted to watch. I don't know if I'm just not looking hard enough. But I think there was a time where there was so much of it. Perhaps we just got flooded. I don't know. How do you see that market right now?
The bar's very high, so the channels themselves don't want to put anything out that may have been too similar to something before, unless it's an incredibly new bit of evidence or a new area or some incredible access to an interview, someone who hasn't been interviewed before. I think the 1 to 4 part thing, viewers and buyers have got wise to, it's not a 4-parter unless there's some really properly definable twists and turns and cliffhangers. We might have run out a little bit. I think that initial flood might be over. They do sell, but it is oversupplied. So it's a case of we have to look maybe now at 2 or 3 times more crime projects to find what we want. The viewers and the channels have reached a point where it has to be. Well, I thought they'd reached that point 5 years ago. I thought they'd reached a point of, God, they've really seen enough now. But not. So there's still a need for it. But yeah, maybe what you're saying as a viewer is we have sort of got there now. Be interesting to see what is coming behind it, filling those slots. But it was stranger than fiction, remember? A lot of stranger than fiction. Then it sort of morphed into stranger than fiction crime. And then people like a good old murder, which is still there.
Yeah.
So, we look high and low. We always are looking at it. But every single production company has a crime project.
Sure.
Every single one, whether it's a series. I must admit, we'd rather have more series right now. The buyers aren't necessarily saying we want more series, but we think we would. We think as a business, the way that other revenue streams are growing, we think that would be a sensible way to go next.
Yeah.
And that's what we're sort of briefing the producers on.
It's been a time of massive change, really, since you launched the company. It's not like the change just started. It's been ongoing. But it does feel like the last 2 to 3 years have been, I think, especially difficult as we all just kind of figure out where audiences are going and constricted budgets and all of that. I'm just curious, your perspective running a business during a time of transition, prioritizing what to focus on. Everybody's got limited budgets, right? How do you figure out what your key priorities are going to be in any given year, given how quickly things evolve?
Quite a lot of guesswork. You've got to use a combination of your head, your heart, and your gut feel. That's the way I look at things. When we're judging content, when we're judging a strategy, the next way to move forward, you can't use any one of those parts too much. So you can't look at history too much and be too scientific either. You can't get too sort of emotional about something, and then you can't use your gut feel either. So you sort of, well, you can. I mean, I use it probably way too much because I think I'm old, I've been around long enough, I know what I'm doing. And I've been found wrong on many occasions. So you have to use all those three things in combination all the time and never, ever stray to the vanilla. Take some risks. We've always taken risks. And, you know, I like admitting failure, actually. I don't mind it because I tell that to my colleagues and they tell me that I'm a failure often, which is really helpful. It keeps me honest. If you go down the vanilla route of just playing safe and sticking to your lane, you're just going to start cannibalizing your own content and start to implode. The adage last year was to diversify channel and relationship and platform and territory. It's all of those now, plus it's also genre, plus it's also the means of production and the method of production. So we're not going to move away from unscripted at all. We're going to stay in unscripted because it's the area we know. So some areas you'll say, yeah, we're going to take risks, but there are risks with a small R and ones with a big R. And we're not going to go down some of the other genres because it doesn't make sense for us. We don't have the expertise.
Now, in terms of new approaches to production, I mean, you and I were talking earlier about how I set up my business entirely using AI tools. I would not be here if it weren't for the AI tools that I was able to use. I've spoken to the Jenny guys about the birds aren't real doc, which I think is fascinating. How are you seeing AI come up in ideas that producers are coming to you with in terms of smart executions of what sometimes can feel inauthentic? So how are you using it in a genre that is built on authenticity?
Well, we had it just recently with Ed Gein by Spirit Studio. They did a brilliant job of making it look expansive, making a project that was done on a limited budget. And they were almost trailblazers already because things have changed so quickly. But we hope that sells even more. It's selling very well, but they deserve it for how they made that work. So it can make a piece of content look very expensive and look credible. But I think there has to be a human at either end at the moment to make this work. And I'm noticing there's generative AI, like with Birds Aren't Real, and then the AI process is making shows much quicker, but are also traditionally made at the front end. So that's what I'm finding interesting is, you know, and often obviously the whole process could be generative AI and in terms of the manufacturing process of the show, you know, editing. So, you know, and I'm not a producer, which is why it sounds a bit clunky when I describe it. But it's all aspects of the journey. And I'm finding now that I'm getting quite excited by areas of factual or eras of factual that we haven't really looked at properly before, or that have looked a little bit old. This might be a way of introducing a newer audience and a younger audience to stories that they wouldn't have bothered with before. So that does excite me. And given the right production team, talent, that could be really good. But I think I'm definitely not the first person to be thinking about that. I'm probably towards the back thinking of that because my main aim is, right, let's try and hit this target this year. Let's make sure that next year is on the way already, and have we got the right team for it? So that's the way I'm constantly looking at things. We can't ignore it, and I think it's only a force for good. It's a positive thing.
Paul, was there anything else you wanted to share with me about BossaNova's plan, strategy for the months ahead?
We're just having a bit of a restructure, and at time of talking, that's just starting to take shape now. We're now setting ourselves up for the next 4.5 to 5 years. Not because we want to change radically, but we've done some things really well, made the odd mistake here and there. We're going to carry on doing that. And we're probably going to look more into revenue streams that we haven't yet exploited, and they could be anywhere. So I think that's a thing we're going to do, and restructuring the team and adding people will all add to that.
Yeah. Are you seeing brands play a greater role in funding of shows now?
If you talk to my runner was sitting here now, she would be punching her fist. She was slamming her fist down on the table saying, I told you. Yes. So we do have brands that come along to our development day. They are getting very involved, and I think it'll be fairly soon now. We start to see the projects. They're all moving much quicker now with brands. It used to be a very slow process.
LTVS has become this massive event for so many people at the start of the year. What role does it play for BossaNova in your overall calendar? And can you give us a little bit of a teaser of what your guests can look forward to at your event.
It was initially something we were hijacking BBC Showcase buyers when they came through London. That was, at Cineflix a few companies ago. So that's what we did. The reason I mentioned it, I like to keep that informality going. So to any of you buyers that are listening still, that haven't either just tuned off because you're utterly, utterly bored. And you know what? Frankly, I don't blame you. No offense, Mancha. But anyone who's still literally just holding their eyelids just open and haven't been distracted, I'll get to the point, is that it's in a very informal, fun night. Yes, well, I will show some shows that we're launching. Yes, but my God, you'll have been pitched to death either side of that Wednesday night. I'm giving you a bit of light relief, some nice snacks, some nice drinks that Alex, my colleague, is putting together. She's already having Wednesday night nightmares about it, but it's all going according to plan. She's very happy. So it's going to be just an informal night. We'll talk about a few shows. We might even have some talent in there as well. No silly gimmicks. I go up on stage. I talk a bit. We show some clips, and I think the culture of Bossa Nova, all the things we do, whether it's Sunday night dinner in Cannes or development day or Wednesday night in Showcase, or the way we just put our marketing together, the things that we put on LinkedIn, is there's a culture of, we are in a serious business, but we are a well put together team and we know what we're doing, but we don't take it too seriously because I don't think you can. I think you have to sometimes take a step back and think, it is only telly, and it is everyone's business, everyone's livelihood, and we'll try and listen to what these people are saying, listen to what the buyers tell us. An informal approach is probably the best way to describe Wednesday night. Along with Wednesday night, there is Tuesday evening, International Ladies Night is my very clunky description of it, but it's a fantastic event. It's women only in TV. Last year, they had a brilliant take-up for it. It's in combination with the Night Train Digital people as well. From a very sort of like a low-key marketing start last year, I think it's going to be much bigger. They've got a different venue now, and there's a lot of people coming along. It's, I'm very proud of my colleagues for doing it, and it's coming along really well. So, I hope you can make it along there as well, Matcha.
Our Road to London sponsors are all taking part at the London TV screenings. Boat Rocker Studios on Monday night, 7-1 Studios on Wednesday morning, Bossa Nova Media on Wednesday evening, and All 3 Media International early Thursday afternoon.